We're in downtown Toronto on the 35th floor with fantastic views, about 1660 square feet. And we were very lucky that our clients called us to do a complete and total remake and remodel and renovation of a space that was otherwise a big white box when we got here. The first thing our clients asked us was, we love color and we also love vintage and mid-century. How do we combine all of those things? We're creative people, and it was ticking all the right boxes for me. The dining space, every project sort of starts with a magical something. And for this one, it was the drapery fabric. And we knew it was going to play a really integral role in this space because there are so many windows. And you were going to see a lot of it. And we also knew it couldn't be too delicate and it couldn't be too faint, otherwise it would disappear. So it really had to be the statement, and everything else was going to sort of fall in line behind that. The other thing I really tried to do in this space is I like to inject a curve somewhere, somehow, wherever I can, when a space is essentially square or rectangular. So that's where the tulip table came in. It promotes traffic flow and ease of movement around it, and it also gives that sort of softness to a space. The other thing we use to create that sense of movement is the bar cart. I liked the idea of the oval shape. It sort of continues on with some of the soft curves we've used elsewhere. The neon sign was from a movie or a game that they had seen, and we wanted to feature it somewhere special. We also wanted to give them more storage. We had always envisioned this credenza. The art was all commissioned and custom made for them by a local Toronto artist, and we love it. Well, I love to do a gallery wall because to me, a home can be completely done to the nines, and if there's no art on the wall, it still feels naked. They had a lot of art, and especially when you have a lot of smaller pieces. Sometimes when you hang a small piece on a wall, it tends to get lost. And so by grouping them all together, we were able to create a real wow moment for them. The client never wanted a white kitchen, which was fantastic because I always saw the kitchen as being these two colors. It is the midpoint of the space. The dining room is on one side and the living room is on the other side. And so it is a very large open space. They did not want seating at the island, so it is a place for the eye to rest. That's why we kept everything very monochromatic. We didn't want to chop anything up, so that's also why the client opted for panel-ready appliances. So there was just a continuous line. We kept the counter the same as the backsplash. We used a white matte faucet. We wanted it to be calm. There was an island here. It was much smaller. It was rectangular, like most islands are. And right away I knew I had to make this island curved. Again, I think it just came back to the fact that this condo felt like a bunch of boxes connected to each other, and I just wanted to soften that corner. I also wanted to create some interest on the face of the island, and that's where the reeded detail came in. I really wanted it to feel interesting and different, and also because the clients, one of them bakes a lot, and so we wanted to give her ample space to do all of that. And that's why we made the island considerably bigger. So part of making it bigger meant not wanting to squeeze out that major traffic point. And curving it just made it a little bit more functional. So this light fixture, we had to find something because the outlet was not centered. So it wasn't your typical, here's a light, here's the thing. And this was what we found, except it isn't meant to be installed this way. It came out of the box and we were like, oh no, I don't know if it's gonna work, but it was our light fixture and we had to make it work. And we're like, well, what if we did it like this and like this and like this? And I thought it looked fantastic. We're very happy, but it was like, okay, it's like when you fix the vacuum cleaner, you got like leftover bits. It's like, do we really need these? I don't think so. There is space right across from the island that we actually call the lounge. There really wasn't a seating place that wasn't associated with the TV. And so we had talked about a few things and they thought The chaise was such a romantic, soft piece that was hands down the winner from any of the other things that we suggested to them. The clients have a dog and 2 cats, so we decided to use a performance velvet. It's in a beautiful soft duck egg. It actually mirrors almost the shape of the island in its curve. It's similar in the color palette, which we did deliberately because we literally and figuratively wanted you to have a resting place here in the center of the floor layout. The jumping off point for the living area, they had wanted 2 sofas. The color, again, no beige sofa for these clients, like pick what you want. Like what color are we gonna go with? And we were all happy with the green sofa. The other thing that we put in here was a set of custom walnut cocktail tables that sort of Jenga together. They can pull them apart, they can put them together, and we combined the essence of mid-century modern in this space. So we used the walnut wood to make the cocktail tables out of. The shape of the sofa gives a nod to that mid-century design. And the light fixture is the Nelson pendant. So it is a mid-century modern classic piece. The swivel chair, it needed a little bit of edge to sort of change things up a bit, which is why we did this classic black and white Kelly Wearstler fabric. And this is a velvet, again for the cats. And that's what we did. We didn't want it to feel like we were on the set of Mad Men, but it was the essence of the beauty of the mid-century modern movement and what that meant to the clients and what that meant to us. The primary bedroom, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I could live in that bedroom. I love it. The brief for the bedroom was romantic, colorful. They were both okay with any kind of pattern. They were great with wallpaper. I have always been a huge fan of House of Hackney, which is the British company that wallpaper is supplied by. It's got really interesting tones, almost Victorian, old British, kind of flowery design. It worked beautifully with their existing mid-century modern furniture. We did get new end tables, so we had those custom made for them, and we had new lighting brought in for them as well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, perfect primary bedroom. The other thing that we did in the bedroom is we changed out the doors. There were these, builder basic barn doors, which need I say more? Anyway, so we worked with a Toronto company who was fantastic, and we custom designed new barn doors that look like a piece of art, and they look like they're meant to be there. And they have a much better sound quality to them in terms of muffling the sound. If somebody wants to be in there and have some peace and quiet and there's something going on in another room, that was a really significant and conscious choice that we made for the clients. They had hoped that we could keep some of the bones of the ensuite as opposed to doing a full gut. We kept a few of the elements, but it was also super dark in there. So we changed out the wall tiles and we helped to tie that into the color scheme of the primary bedroom. We used very large slab gloss pink onyx porcelain tiles, and they're fantastic, very dramatic, which also reflect the light. We added more light, we added more pot lights, we added different pendant lights, and we were able to sort of brighten it up and make it feel like it was meant to go with the primary bedroom instead of a very dark space that it was. Robin's office, he needed a place where he could do his work. We needed a place to put his recliner because we promised. And he also does his gaming, his alone time, his TV time. It started out by his wish list of wanting to have a custom mural painted by a Toronto artist. We decided to use this very graphic black and white pattern, and it just acts as a counterbalance to the graphic nature of this mural that's painted. We also put in a classic mid-century Milos Bauman recliner that we were able to custom upholster in their contract velvet. So it's definitely a more is more moment, and that's what they love, and that's why we love it for them. Well, I think my favorite room in this whole space is the main bathroom. It actually used to be 2 spaces. It was a tiny utility room, and then it was a very small powder room. And none of it made any sense. So we completely removed all the walls. The machines are behind a closet anyway, so it was fine. We ripped up the floor, we changed the lighting, we built new storage for them. So the whole space was opened up and became what it was always meant to be. Amelia is a burlesque performer. And so when I came across this sexy, cheeky mermaid wallpaper, I knew that this was it. They would love it. And sure enough, they were thrilled. To top it off, the vanity itself is just beautiful. We used natural quartzite and we did a brass hammered sink and brass faucet. And it's just, the whole bathroom looks magical, like a mermaid would be. If I had to describe this space, well, the first word I would use would be joyful. That's what comes to my top of mind, is joyful. It's whimsical, it's fun, but I do think it feels like home, like it's home for them and they love it. It's an extension of their personalities, of their lives, and so I think they would say it feels like home.